Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, we have our second map ready and prepared for you. Of course, it will be Dust2 as Navi Junior look to bring things forward and finish the series off 2-0. Of course, my name is Yumi. I'll be bringing you through the action. We're right into the pistol round. Straight away, Navi Junior starting on this CT side and hope to find success to start things off already. A couple of kills have gone astray. Kapacho able to get one. There's a quick response there from the Aalborg Rebels, though, and this bomb can now be planted over at B. They don't have a kit to play off of as of yet. Now one recovered by Topa. I think there's a smoke under his feet as well. So moving on forward, how do they play off each other? Aalborg Rebels are allowing them to creep on into the site. Barry gets caught looking the wrong direction. Prime in with the first, but Gospadarov is there for the trade. The kit recovered. The bomb readily defused. Navi Junior take the pistol and take an early advantage to start off our secondary map. If you weren't able to catch it earlier, Navi Junior did play TKA Esports on this map as well. We had some great performances from them. Ended up winning that series 2-0 as well. But some fairly close score lines. There's some cracks and some signs that Aalborg Rebels may be able to utilize in their own game plan as well. Oh, Barry getting caught with his nades out. Does fall victim to bit early on. It's a force buy from Aalborg Rebels to go straight into the secondary round, and something that they've not been shy of doing. We saw it on train multiple times after conceding those pistol rounds that they want to go for this force and see if they can apply a bit more pressure. Kapacho, good for one. Jumping headshot seemed like from Maccen, but Gospadarov is there to sweep everything under the rug. 3 kills on the spray down with the A1S. A great play from him to make sure Navi Junior didn't have to fight too hard for that second round. Even with them getting caught out by the investment from Aalborg, it didn't matter that Gospadarov was there. Now just the standard issue pistols and upgraded pistols for Aalborg. That's where they'll go, is over towards long. See if they can overwhelm one of these players. Topa for now is remaining sneaky, but he's allowing them to get up close and personal. That's allowed these pistols to be a lot more effective. And although he gets 2, he does get tracked down in the end. Gospadarov there. He's really been the cleanup crew for this Navi Junior side. In fact, he only got 1 kill on that rotation. Bit took the other 2. Those were the 2 that I expected to be the ones with the hot hand. They showed that they were in good form on train. Had good performances the last time round they were on Dust as well. And just their quick rotations have been enough for Navi Junior to maintain a flawless record on the CT side thus far. Good damage nades to start off this round as well. Aalborg already softened up. Setting up for a smoke. Gospadarov, he'll spam him down. Barry tempts fate by going for that smoke. It's been the reaction of a lot of players recently, now that that smoke has seen a lot of popularity, to go for that wallbang, see if you can net some good damage or a kill. Given that Barry was already tagged down by the nades, that could have very well ended with an early advantage. But for now, all 10 stay alive. Flashes over A long. They're trying to make some semblance of a split work towards A. Only 55 seconds left on this clock, and this short presence from Zyphon. If he's able to get a kill here, this makes things a whole lot more awkward for the A site defense. Topa around this smoke. Zyphon the other side of it. Both close enough that they could practically touch each other. They're just waiting for the smoke to fade. Topa is so prepared for this fight. The first kill in. They're playing anti-flash. Prime able to at least trade things out, but they hold control of short. That allows a retake angle for the Navi Junior players. Not really planted for these guys over at A long. They have to commit to the far left peak, and so that man is on an island on the bomb site. Barry first to fall. He's really the one that could prevent them from crossing. Maccen and Maza try to make things work at a distance. Maccen with the good spray transfer, and the AWP presence from Mazi is a whole lot to deal with. Aunkere trying to get on this bomb, trying to get the defuse, and he almost has time, but the terrorists just narrowly edge out the win. Mazzy hits the shot he needs to. It's a close defuse from Navi Junior. That's what I meant when I was stating that the bomb wasn't really planted for those long players, because they had to commit to that deep peek. It almost comes back to bite them. And of course, guys, if you are tuning in with us and you haven't seen already, you can go over to hellcase.com to take part in some of the crates that they have there. They have a Hellcase, or a Hell Cup 8 Pro case that you can get into. And while you see this dynamic prize pool at the top, helps contribute to the prize pool, helps support the players, supports our sponsors as well. And you can use SLTV15 for 15% balance increase on whatever you top up. There's some things to think about. A little bit of love towards our sponsors, to the players as well, as we await to see how the regular season will go. There's quite a few teams that I'm interested in seeing the participation of. I mean, I'd seen even in this open qualifier, there's a UK team. Of course, I'm a UK caster. Quite excited to see the Nerd Rage guys in there. But, I mean, what awaits when they all get to qualify will certainly be a spectacle. We'll see how Aunkere does with this pressure towards middle. Barry's just crept himself into the corner. I think Aunkere has an inkling that he's there. Can't quite spot the shoulder, but now that he's moved out of position, they just catch a glimpse before falling back. So they know mid has been compromised. Aunkere playing this B rotation. Now bunkers in at the bomb site. Well, all is quiet on the map. Nice little one-way for Zyphon to play off. This does get spammed fairly frequently, but Zyphon's able to tap Gospadarov off the map. Around the edge they go. Navi Junior weren't quite prepared for that one, it seems, and now the pressure is applied over at B. They thought maybe it might have been an A play given the early advantage. Aunkere there with the first, the second as well, spamming through the plywood. While Mazzy's able to alleviate and deal with that player over at B, who was preventing the plant from being successful, they still found an advantage and got great post plants to play off of. They have the upper tunnels. They know that that's not a possibility. Zyphon's in position. While Navi Junior have the utility to go for this, it's all about whether they do. Flashes to go over. A smoke could be lined up for the upper tunnels, but they've tapped out, using the utility instead to fall away and make sure that Aalborg Rebels cannot find these kills upon the retreat. And well, B seems to be the weakness. Now that Gospadarov wasn't there to clean up the mess over on that bomb site. We saw him with a nice little spray down for 3 earlier on. Once they found that kill on him, they knew that that bomb site was fair game. The second round for Aalborg, and hopefully more to come. They look to fight back after losing Train 16-13. A couple of really close wins and some great individual play from Navi Junior that made all the difference. Navi Junior taking in a very aggressive early set of positions. Just with the AK and the AWP that they'd saved in the previous round, they hope that Aunkere doesn't get cleared here. He only has a USP to play off of, but for now, it's all gone right. He's looking for the knife. He's trying to get the most value out of this position as possible. He gets 2 with the USP. That's about as much as you could have hoped for. The double dinks on 2, and he's made it so that Barry is now trapped alone on this site. They spam him to low HP, and the Deagle finishes off the job. They had the site. They had the weaponry advantage, but it's all crumbled. Bit still with the AWP. Kapacho now picking up an AK in his own right. And this is certainly doable. Kapacho just hopes to catch them on this rotation. They do separate They do allow Aalborg to play the 2-on-1s, but they're looking at the angle from Bit. This could completely catch them off guard. They know the AWP was rotated over to that site, and they're hoping that this all finds success. Bit in with the shot. Mazzy answers back, brings it to the 1-on-1, and kapacho. Has he made noise? Is he known? They goes for the jiggle peek. Mazzy forced off the angle, and kapacho does seal it through. This was just pistols and the saved weapons from the previous round, and Aalborg fall flat to it. After what started like a good opening pick, they take the AK away from one of these Navi Junior players. They don't clear the close corner, and Aunkere did what he had to do to allow that round to see success. What a round from Navi Junior. And you could see he was being patient with it, lining up the shots, even tempting himself into the knife if possible, but ultimately went with the better decision, and that's gotta be soul crushing for Aalborg. A good spot to compound a couple of round wins in a row. Ends up being heartbreak. Well, we'll see how they bounce back. They've got the Maccen on Barry and rifles galore elsewhere. Topa in the pit. First kill is good so far. Doesn't have anybody that can really support. The flash at a distance from Gospadarov is enough at the very least. The flash himself to allow what could have been a third frag. Doesn't quite see the results he was hoping for. Gospadarov around the edge of the smoke will find another, and the follow-up adjusts so quickly. Gospadarov has been really impressive thus far. Today he's been hitting so many of these quick shots, even if they're not specifically flicks, just adjusting and reacting as quick as he has on some of these multi-kills has been a treat to watch. Well, not going to quite get the fast reactions to work on that initial peak. Barry does get dropped. Gospadarov there for what was an attempted refrag, and Maccen is trying his luck as well, but I think he realized that it's probably not the best. Okay, actually does take him down. Fortunately for him, the AWP cannot be recovered, and they've lost substantial numbers in going for individual faces. But actually over at B, suddenly Prime has the entirety of the bomb site. Oh, this position from Aunkere is going to cause a whole lot of issues. Yep, Maccen dealt with on the rotation, just trying to get this bomb over to the site. And while Prime, 9 HP, gets taken down at a distance. A good amount of damage, given how the round started out. The Gospadarov double kill, and, well, Aalborg at least were able to equalize at one point or another. But it's all about these rounds. So far, only 2 on field for Aalborg. Although it's not been a breeze to walk through, Navi Junior is certainly comfortable. They're building up some cash now on these rounds. Gospadarov in with another opening frag. He has been really impactful on this AWP. They even go for the boost after the initial peak. Trying to change things up and hope that Aalborg get caught sleeping, thinking they'd fall back to the site. Well, Aalborg, or Gospadarov does reposition, does catch just the leg of one of these players. They will be able to cross over towards short. Topa, good for 1 before traded. The Prime is low HP. If he decides to creep around this smoke, even if he gets spammed, it's pretty troublesome for him. Oh, okay. Bit doesn't even have to fire off a shot through the smoke. Thought he might have gotten caught by timings, but they get flanked from Catwalk instead, and Gospadarov tries to hit the flick. They will allow the cross to sight, but this boost, even if this gets planted, that player is in for a world of hurt. Maccen gets dropped. Mazzy, the 3 players to find. He brought it close before. He's found 2 so far around the smoke and playing and just trying to keep his attention. Gospadarov will take him out. Another round in which it's really the ops that shine through. Gospadarov with 4 kills. And another plant success for Aalborg, but they just cannot hold the site. It just had to be the man with arguably the hardest name to pronounce on Navi Junior to be the one that I have to say the most often. I'd say Aunkere or Aunkere. I still don't know which one of those is truly correct. He's probably a close second in terms of how do I pronounce that man's name. But either way, it's been a great showing from Navi Junior thus far here on this CT side. Obviously able to iron out quite a few of the creases that we saw in their previous map played on this. But we haven't really seen a strong contest over it long. No early pressure in that position. When we have seen Aalborg go out, they've been delaying it fairly heavily and just, I think, trying to isolate a pit player. Should there have been one in play. Like we saw Topa anchoring towards long in one of the rounds, and it was a delayed push from Aalborg. While that can certainly work, not implementing, say, a wall of smokes over at long means that even if he's able to be overwhelmed, things can go awry. You can see they change up the pace. Now they go for a fast play over towards long, and they get the couple of kills that they were looking for. Only casualty is Zyphon. And this makes things a lot more interesting for players like Gospadarov. He's in a truly one-and-done angle. Should these players progress up long, and they've got the rotations down to a T. Berry cuts off Capacho. That's the B bomb site now open for business, and Berry can prevent them from moving much further forward. Aunkere trying to find an advantage right back, but Berry's done exactly what he needs to do. Held the fort, made sure that that B bomb site is open for business because that anchor player was the one caught on the rotation, and Gospadarov would do well to save this AWP. Good first kill on Prime. Thought about committing towards some sort of A-site rotation, but could have likely been caught off guard. And these Aalborg Rebels want to make sure that this is no longer in his hands. He'd still be able to afford up another one in the following round, but they've seen how lethal he can be, and they want to make sure that that's not a possibility. Another, what seemed like a jumping shot from Maccen. I think that's the second we've seen him hit this game. Even if it wasn't quite in mid-air, he'd only just landed, and that can cause a little bit of inaccuracy in its own right, but a sharp shot nonetheless. Well, in spite of Gospadarov being able to afford up a buy, the rest of his team could not. So it does mean that Navi Junior have to take the back seat in this round. Just Deagles to play with. Bit of armor on Bit. They're just looking for individual fights and any sort of advantage that they can find early. Very good supportive play to allow his teammate to survive. And Berry is playing extremely well in these past couple of rounds. Held down the rotationary play over towards A and B respectively, and this time comes out with a 4K. Granted, an anti-eco, but played a pivotal role in keeping other teammates alive as well. But this is the real meat and potatoes. This is where it all matters. Full weapons reinvested for both sides. By and large, Navi Junior have seen more success. And I apologize if we dropped a few frames there. Windows decided to start updating. It's been put on pause for now. Well, some good damage done on these Navi Junior players, and a flurry of smokes over towards short. In fact, whole utility belts being committed to this position. because they're still fighting desperately to take control. A fluff spray from Bit. Gospadarov is still lingering by the wayside. Had 10 HP. One shot would have done him, but he hits the shot he needs to. Gets the follow-up as well on Maccen, but cannot retreat to the sanctuary of C2 spawn. Zyphon securing space for his teammate, and Aunkere almost gets the jumping shot, but Zyphon swats him out. Kapacho does get a bit of a tease on Prime. Some nice tag damage, but nothing further. And given that these players are low HP, you'd think they'd maybe fall back, but again, they want to make sure that these rifles are not an issue to be dealt with. And while with Prime going down, you imagine they don't commit any more resources to the hunt. Kapacho should be able to get away with this AK, but a 5th round for Aalborg. After things looked pretty broken down as well. Once you see teams throw that much utility to one spot, you do start to worry whether they're over expending resources. Given that there was so much time on the clock and they found that opening kill they needed, it is in the end a net positive. Fast play over through long. Mazzy, AWP in hand. The nade sails right past him. Does do a bit of damage onto him and actually brings him down to 9 HP with the follow-up tags. Only really pistols for the Navi Junior side. Only Kapacho with the saved AK as appropriate weaponry. And he's located in through middle. That flash timing is perfect. Barry at least able to get and draw attention away from his teammates covering from afar, but Topa is playing around the smoke and trying to remain elusive. The mid-B smokes do begin to indicate something is awry. Gospadarov with the recovered AK pushing on through, finishes off the damage done on Mazzy. Topa on the fast rotation as well, has been spotted out. Well, given their lack of success in finding these frags, they may just fall back. They go for the boost to see if they can find an advantage. Nobody peeking. The smoke that they assumed was a flash. Enough of a deterrent. And again, another save call from the CT side. Aalborg Rebels, again. There's a pretty substantial distance between these two teams on a round basis. Now, that has been made into a small little molehill. Only one more round to tie things up and really recover this half for Aalborg Rebels. And again, more of what we saw from Train. It isn't just one player having an outstanding performance for the Aalborg side. It has very much been a team contribution. A lot of effective trading and compensation for lost players. Gospadarov getting an opportunity at a first and opening shot. And hoping that he can get a teammate to boost him up into an aggressive angle. Going to miss this timing by a fair margin. Nobody really committing to a short play. And in fact, they're attempting a boost of their own. Mazzy missing the jump a few times. Does actually slide off of his head. I'd hoped his teammate was a bit further in the corner. They had more ground to run on. Some neat little tricks being implemented to try and get this opening frag. This is a swinging round for Navi Junior. They get this one. They maybe bring enough momentum to close out the half 9-6, but Aalborg are hot on their heels. Topa with the first frag. Aunkere looking for a bit of pressure around the doors. The flash timing was perfect, but they blocked the sprays initially, but Kapacho adjusts to bring 3 frags their way. Still close to the doors. Not a lot of bullets left in the chamber, but Gospadarov finishes things off, keeping 3 up and enough to buy into the last round of the half. Not as big a deal for Aalborg Rebels. And a 7-8 recovery is certainly a good sign. that they found their feet on the map and they're prepared for the second half. Just have to see if they can get to that elusive 7th round. Of course, with Navi Junior being a map up in the series, far more reliant on Aalborg coming out ahead here. This is Navi's pick. They're more than comfortable. Bit opens up the round. Prime an early demise, and Topa's hoping this off angle doesn't get cleared. Maccen does go and hard clear the angle. Gospadarov, a good bit of tag damage, but his position now known, and a Molotov lands at his feet. He's being burnt to a crisp, but he gets one before going up in the Inferno. Zyphon tagging him down with the AK all the meanwhile, and Aunkere, his rotation siphoned. Now just kapacho brings it to the 1-on-2. They know exactly where he is. He's creeping out further and further. They look to try and play the 2 versus 1, the headshot angle. And they do. Aalborg get themselves to a 7th round. They got a 4 round in a row run that really recovered this half as a whole. Navi Junior have been very reliant on Gospadarov to have these high impact rounds that seemed to escape him towards the end of that one. But now the script is flipped. Navi Junior on the T side, they have a couple of smokes, a couple of flashes. Zyphon looking to get an early advantage. Not quite able to fall back as a result of the initial pick. Full committed into 4 players from Navi Junior. Well, the T side slow things down. They've heard the rotation through CT spawn. They know that they've fallen back, but there's still 2 and 2 a sight. The mid B smoke to allow the cross. Prime playing that door angle does get taken down to 3 HP, spammed down eventually and tracked by the rest of the Navi Junior side. An early, or a nice advantage coming into the post plant now for Navi. Flash on through. Oh, headshot on Berry just around the corner, but not quite enough to finish off the job. Well, they do have the kit available on that forbidden fruit. They're not making a whole lot of ground, not finding these opening opportunities. Berry creeps himself out, hits the shots he needs to, and it's oh so crisp, but Aunkere throws any hopes of winning that round out the window. Given he was so low HP as well, you didn't expect him to have as much impact as that. Not quite enough. Aalborg Rebels have yet to find themselves in a lead at any point in this map so far. Still desperately looking for the chance. Mazi tagged down by the scout. While Bit may spam, not quite landing in the spot he's hoping for. Ooh, good bit of movement and an opening frag for Bit on Berry. A lot of refrag and trade attempted by the Aalborg side. Well, not a lot of them finding much of anything. Only Mazi with the 1 rotationary frag. Maccen may get an opportunity at a Mac 10. But Topa makes sure that he doesn't escape with that or his life. Double digits now for Navi Junior. And we'll be interested to see if we get a bit of a different approach to their T side. We saw a lot of slower style rounds from Aalborg, especially to start off this map. Quite often you'll see rushes to the extremities of the map on these defaults. We saw a much more calm approach from the Aalborg side. Navi Junior going for a contact play over at B to deal with these pistols. That first angle doesn't get fully clear. There's a quick double and actually triple kill on the B bomb site, make it 4. And well, Barry going to be eliminated as well. So we never got to see that kind of an approach from Aalborg. The only times we'd seen them go B, there was a fast style play. Then we had the one round in which Aunkere didn't get cleared with a USP. But no contact rushes. Very few times did we see them go for sort of doubled up picks. What I mean by that is 2 players would go into a position to play the far sides of the map. And if the first duel doesn't go well, then they trade. We saw far more congregations of, say, 3 or 4 players with a set idea of what they wanted to do into the round. Whereas Navi Junior seem a bit more on the flexible end. They'll allow these sort of star players to do what they do best. We saw the same peak from Bit in this round. Mazzy is here with the AWP. This may prove a tall order for these players up short. The flash is good. Mazzy forced off of the angle. Navi Junior now have control of short. Fortunately enough for Aalborg, they have secured long control early on. Prime still locking down that position. And Mazzy's not quite done here. Rattling off another shot as these smokes bloom. But this looks like a full site commitment. One drops into CT spawn. Bit hoping to escape with his life, but they're actually feigning it. Looking to split instead towards the B bomb site, but Aalborg haven't over-rotated. First kill is good. The Maccen, he gets 1 here. It would have been enough, but he fails in doing so. Gospadarov and kapacho get the site, but they don't have the bomb. And so they have to commit outward, even after they've secured the bomb site. Headshot is good, and the first one found by kapacho. They are watching that position like a hawk. The Molotov through. He's going to force him out of position. This may buy him just enough time to get some distance, but had hardly enough time to make it back to the site, so went for the fights instead. An interesting idea, a good one at that. It seemed to catch the Aalborg players sleeping. There was nobody in that CT spawn rotation to really punish. However, losing the bomb while taking the site is a only minor victory. You're missing a few puzzle pieces there. Mazzy not being given the chances as of yet. And Gospadarov leaning into the peak. It is a right eye peak, so a hard one to contest. Even still, he was holding so tentatively for exactly that angle. Gospadarov just faster on the trigger. Again, Aalborg taking control of long while conceding short is a fairly normal response. One of the issues may be that they still have the AWP in the possession of Gospadarov, and if he takes these long angle faces over at long, could spell a doom for these Aalborg players. The site is open, ready for business. Well, Zyphon will try his luck, try and fancy himself a couple of peaks if he can. Nobody on Navi Junior overcommitting for those fights. They've got the bomb down. They accomplished what they set out to do. Gospadarov is thinking about it. Eyeing up these peaks. He goes for the wide angle face, but Zyphon gets the better of him. A missed shot from Gospadarov. Bit and Aunkere do hold the cross, however. So it started out as a 5 versus 4. Collapses into a 4 versus none. Navi shut out the Aalborg retake. I don't even know what that means. Watch out, the police are watching. We welcome the law enforcement to our stream, if that would be the case. Nothing really going right for Aalborg on this CT side as of yet. a whole lot more to play for. But in this round, only upgraded pistols on the fair few. Good amount of map control at least taken by the CT side. Bit does hear them trouncing around over in the upper tunnels, and Kapacho there to make sure things don't fall out of control. Oh, hold the phone though. Zyphon's found another pick. He's gotten 2 with the Deeg so far. Got his hands on an AK as well. Aunkere could certainly catch him off, but he's just missed the timing. Just narrowly. Up through long he'll go, and Aunkere, sure, he's been able to relay this to his teammate. He didn't hear any presence on short. He's fully cleared that out as well. So Zyphon trying to take these jiggle peaks, but Gospadarov hits the shot as he has been for most of this game. If you look at the little statistic underneath, 101 ADR thus far in this game, which, given 21 rounds of play, is that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Well, given that this was an open qualifier, and still is an open qualifier, you're more than welcome to try. Gospadarov leading the way with the AWP. Oh, tags Maccen down. Only so barely a pixel. The smoke is really what prompts him to his location. He's just been reacting so fast in this series. Navi Junior, firm control of this B bomb site. The bomb just has to make its way over. Bit can certainly go down to spam and nade damage, but does relocate before that's a possibility. Gospadarov not done. He wants an actual frag. No tag damage this time. Berry caught in the back. Mazi at least gets the trade. Punishes him for being a little too hungry, but they're more than happy with that exchange. And well, they may still lose this AWP of Mazi as well. He knows where one of them is coming from, but he's just trying to divert his attention. Topa, he knows he's up close. Mazi hits the shot, but Kapacho from behind for the instant trade. Now just 2 more rounds for Navi Junior to bring it to a 2-0 series. Aalborg Rebels need a miracle. Somebody to have a crazy round. We've seen a couple of nice ones with the Deagle. It hasn't been enough. Berry, good smoke on towards short. Would have been quickly overrun had that been delayed in its deployment. Well, he's certainly looking for something. Just around the edge of the smoke, he has a gap, but Bit's prepared for it. Berry decapitated. Prime found through the smoke, and well, the A-bomb site fully cleared out. Maccen was over at B, and well, they just got caught up in the excitement that they've not brought the bomb with them. Just everybody hitting shots and wanting to take more names. Now that that package can make its way over, should seal in any doubt that this is a Navi round. It will be 15-8 unless Maccen comes up big. It doesn't seem like he's fancying his chances. He's hoping to keep hold of the few assets he has. There is always a chance in Counter-Strike, but I'm not fancying Aalborg's, at least in this endeavor. They need 7 in a row just to bring it to overtime, just to force a third map. Remember, they picked Train as the first map. They lost it 16-13. There were a couple of close rounds, some really strong individual performances from Navi Junior. But they've had that in both the previous map and this one. You look at Gospadarov, he's got 27 kills to 13 deaths. Had 101 ADR earlier on. He has been having a stormer of a game, but the rest of the team aren't really that far behind. The next closest player is 8 frags behind. All of them kind of hovering about 19, 17 frags. They've got that star level consistency as well as, well, across the board consistency. And while Gospadarov will have a miss, Navi Junior have found a one-man advantage in the early stages of this round. Maccen now on an island over at B. Well, given there's only 3 players left of the CT side, they have to spread themselves out. There's so much of the map that is exposed should they play for the trades. And it has to start now, if anywhere. There's one more round to stay afloat. Barry actually spots the bomb. He could cheat a rotation over if he's feeling so inclined, but that may just well be a fake. I think Aunkere has relayed that he would have likely spotted that bomb crossing. And well, Topa, he drops through CT, does find Barry. Not quite aware to his location. Prime just trying to delay, trying to take and dictate these angles. Good damage onto Bit, but not quite enough. The Molotov actually kind of works against these Navi Junior players in terms of getting this bomb planted. And Maccen is enabled to go in from behind. These players are oh so low on Navi Junior. Neither of them above 10 HP, but these angles, the headshot ones at that, could prove too much. Maccen, it's a game of whack-a-mole. Back and forth he'll go, just looking for the right moment to strike. Drops through CT, and Bit and Aunkere, have they heard this? They haven't. He spams him round through the box. He has the HP advantage, but Bit has the positional one, and he's been hitting shots as he does. 16-8 to conclude the map. What a performance from the Navi Junior players. They had a few instances where it was certainly close. It wasn't quite what they were expecting on train. Mate just didn't seem that all that comfortable, but they had those star level players that were enough. And while on their own map pick, they command a dominating lead and hold on to it. Of course, guys, thank you all so much for tuning in. As far as I'm aware, that will be our last set of games for the night. Of course, massive shout out to our sponsors over at Hellcase. Of course, this has been the Hellcase Cup 8 Open Qualifiers. We followed Navi Junior for a couple of games, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how they progress and how well they do for the rest of the tournament, as there's other people on the other side of the bracket that are more than willing and more than capable of taking them down. I'll just give a quick look over to see who they'll be facing in the following rounds, just to give you guys a bit of insight. They await to see S Gaming versus Cyber Legacy, how that game goes on, and Boca Boston, Team Excellency, that needs to be concluded as well as the Sinners Esports and 1-2-3 lineup. So Navi Junior already through to the semifinals, and they're just a couple of stages away from making it into the regular season of play for the Hellcase Cup. Or Hell Cup 8. Of course, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you oh so much, and we hope to see you guys in the next broadcast. Take care.